I believe we are all capable of doing our makeup. With a little bit of tweaks to your current makeup routine, you can definitely achieve a flawless makeup application. In today's tutorial, I'm going to cover common makeup do's and don'ts. Alright sis, so the first thing is not to skip your skincare prep. Now this is important because like anything else, your foundation base, whether it be a home, anything, your base always needs to be as strong or as prep as it can be. So when it comes to the makeup, you always want to make sure that your skin is as hydrated, as exfoliated, as ready as it can be before going in with any makeup. Now when it comes to your skincare prep, we are talking about your serums, your moisturizers, your toners, whatever your skincare looks like to you and your specific skin type, you want to make sure that you're catering to that. So for me, I am combination skin. So when I talk about combination, I am oily in my T-zone and dry in like the rest of my face, the perimeter of my face. So going in with a moisturizer that really helps with my oils is what I like to do. So as a combination girly, I like to go in with gel form moisturizers. So one that I've been really loving is my Nutrient Charged Water Gel. You guys have seen this in all my videos. This is my current go-to moisturizer. So I'm going to use this as my prep. So skipping your skin prep can cause a lot of issues with your makeup. One including textured skin. So if you're not prepping your skin, you're definitely going to see texture throughout your makeup. Makeup is not going to glide on your skin. Your skin is just not going to look the greatest that it can be. All right, so the next thing is your primer. So you definitely don't want to skip using a primer. A primer is that base. This is what is going to set the foundation for the makeup that you're going to be applying on your face. Primer is meant to combat any type of skin issue that you have. So there's a primer for all types, whether you're dry skin, oily skin, combination skin like myself, if you're acne prone, anything of that sort, you want to choose a primer that works for you. So in my case, I am combination skin. So I like going in with primers that's going to combat my oily skin. So when I use primers, I like to focus it mainly in my problem area, which is my T-zone. So me personally, I like to go in with a mattifying primer. So that's what we're going to be using today. So for today, I'm going to be using the Yummy Skin Universal Blurring Balm Powder. And I like this because it really controls my oils, guys. This is like the only thing that works for me. So Danessa Myrix, thank you for sending me this because I've been loving it. I've actually hit pan with it. You guys can see. So you definitely know that I stick by this. So I'm going to apply this in my T-zone. Now skipping primer, you definitely don't want to do. Like I said, you are going to cause a lot of texture in your makeup. Make sure that you are using a primer that works for your skin type. This is just going to allow the makeup to really come out exactly how you want it. So if you're an oily skin girly, a mattifying primer will work for you. If you are dry skin, something that's hydrating. If you're combination skin, you can even use two different primers, a hydrating primer on the perimeter and a mattifying in the T-zone. It is all up to you and your preference. All right, so the next thing is applying the wrong foundation. Now, I know this can be very difficult. If you haven't checked out, I do have a video on how to choose your perfect foundation match. So if you haven't checked that out, I'll leave it on the screen above for you to check out. But choosing your perfect foundation is actually something that a lot of people get wrong. So choosing the right foundation can make or break your entire look. So making sure that you choose something that matches you correctly is a makeup do. Like you just want to make sure that your foundation matches. Now when it comes to choosing the right foundation for you, it comes down to your skin type, your skin tone, and your skin undertone, and just understanding what that looks like for you. So making sure that you choose the right foundation is definitely a makeup do. Another makeup don't is applying foundation directly underneath your eyes. You don't want to apply foundation directly under your eyes because the less product that you use underneath your eyes is better, especially if you're someone who creases a lot underneath your eyes. So the less product that you apply underneath your eyes is the best case scenario. So avoid applying foundation directly underneath your eyes. That's reserved for your concealer. All right, so another makeup don't is applying too much concealer. So I see a lot of people using a lot of concealer underneath the eyes, which is nice. Honestly, there's no rules to makeup, but the more concealer that you use, the more creasing tends to happen. Also, when it comes to the blending, it's a lot of blending time. It's just a lot of unnecessary work that you have to do when you use a lot of concealer. So going in with a really light hand of concealer always works for me, especially in the beginning. You can always add concealer along the way if you feel you need to use a little bit more, but always starting off with a little bit of concealer under the eyes is a really good pro tip. So today I'm going to be using the Too Faced Born This Way Multi Sculpting Concealer. I'm in the shade Maple, and this is a concealer that is 2 to 3 shades lighter than my complexion. This is what's going to help brighten up my look and just bring back the highlights to my skin. So I like to apply this underneath the eyes, and I honestly just focus it in the inner corner like this. If you're going for a more lifted under eye, you can also apply the concealer to the sides of your eyes like that. Now this is a full coverage concealer. I like to let it sit for about a minute to just get the full coverage look, and then go in with a concealer brush to blend it out. And as a beginner, you guys see that I am working in sections. I like to work on my under eyes first, and then I do the other parts. So my forehead, my nose, cupid's bow, and my chin. All right, so I'm going to take my e.l.f. Flawless Concealer brush, and we're just going to start with blending out the edges of the concealer, and then we work our way underneath the eyes. So another makeup don't is using a dry beauty blender to blend out your concealer. Now this is a big no-no because you're definitely going to see patches in your concealer. It's not going to be blended properly. You're not going to be able to blend it out properly. And if you're going to be taking pictures, I kid you not, you are going to see flashback. It's just gonna look unblended. It's not gonna look good. So avoid using a dry beauty blender. When it comes to beauty blenders, you need to wet it, wring it out, and make sure that it's damp, clean, and ready to go. Another big makeup don't is less is more. So using less product will always be a win. I know it may seem like it's not doing as much, but the less makeup that you apply on your face, the less worries you need to worry about blending or it looking cakey. Now, I always say less is more because you are able to build the intensity as you go. If you feel you need to add any more concealer or foundation or whatever the case is, you can always add more. But when you go in with a large hand at first, it's going to be difficult to blend out and just can cause a real big mess on your face. So that also applies to your cream contours or your liquid blushes. Go in with as little as you can first, and then build the intensity later. When you go in with too much at first, it will cause a whole mess on your face where it's too late to take off that makeup, and you just kind of have to work with it, blend it out as much as you can, and that can just really ruin your makeup. So going in with a lighter hand first, building the intensity later, is a really good pro tip when it comes to your makeup. So when it comes to liquid blush, something that I like to do is apply the blush to the back of my hand. This gives me the control to really blend it out on the back of my hand before applying it to my face. So today I'm going to be using my e.l.f. Camo Liquid Blush in the shade Bold Faced Lilac. And the brush I'm going to use today is my e.l.f. Liquid Blush Brush. So I just like to warm that blush up on the back of my hand. This just gives me the control and really evens it out on the brush as well. And then I go in with applying that blush just like that. So you can see I have the option to put more if I want, but if I want to just stick with how much I have, I can do that as well. So at this point, I feel like I want a bit more. So I'm gonna go in with just a bit more on the back of my hand, and that way I am able to build that intensity if I want. All right, so the next makeup don't is do not skip setting powder or powder in general. You don't want to skip doing this. If you walk out like this, I guarantee you in like less than 10 minutes, you're going to be just this oily ball of makeup. honestly. So one thing I can say is whatever you use, whether it's cream or liquid products on your face, you want to go on top of that with a powder. So when it comes to setting powder, you want to grab a setting powder that is considered translucent. For anyone who is of darker skin like myself, I usually go for anything banana or medium deep translucent. So that is just a tip for me. I do need to do a video on powders. I know you guys have been asking, so stay tuned for that. But you definitely want to go in with powder. So today I'm going to be using my Black Radiance Loose Setting Powder. This is in the shade Honeymoon. So setting your face with powder just ensures that your makeup has that longevity so that it lasts throughout the day. If you're someone who has oily skin, you definitely don't want to skip this step because this is what's going to lock in your makeup and keep it lasting on your skin. So just like our highlighted areas, we did use cream blush. So we want to go over that with some powder blush. So today I'm going to be using my NYX Buttermelt blush. This is in the shade Had Butter, and I'm going to use my Real Techniques blush brush, and all we're doing is setting that liquid blush. All right, so the next makeup don't is wearing a nude lipstick without lip liner, especially for us women of color, because it is not gonna look good. Oh my gosh, it's not gonna look good. You need a brown lip liner to complement the nude. So what you wanna do is always go in with a brown lip liner. Something that's really good for women of color is the MAC lip liner in Chestnut. That's what I'm going to use today to show you guys the difference. So always making sure that when it comes to either a nude gloss, a nude lipstick, go in and pair that with a lip liner. All right, and then the last makeup don't is spraying your setting spray directly on your face. You never want to spray, especially a wet setting spray, directly on your face because this is gonna mess up your makeup look. I know a lot of times I used to do it and I would get like blotches of that setting spray in my makeup and it just ruins everything. So spraying your setting spray about 3 inches away from your face where you kind of get the mist on your face is a makeup do. So today I'm going to be using my MAC Fix Plus Stay Over setting spray, and we're just going to spray this to lock in the makeup look. So you don't want to spray it this close to your face and drench your face. You want to spray it a little further away. And then I like to just fan my face like this and let it settle in, and this is what's going to lock your makeup look in place. But this is the finishing look, guys. This completes my makeup do's and don'ts. These were on a few of the major things that a lot of people can do to really mess up or not allow them to have that flawless makeup beat. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Let me know if there's some makeup do's or don'ts that I missed, and I could make a part 2 to this. I actually really loved filming this. So if you guys have any suggestions, leave it in the comment section below like you guys always do. And that is about it. And if you haven't checked out my most recent video, I did do a natural makeup look that you can achieve in under 10 minutes. So if you haven't checked out this video, I'll leave it on the screen right here for you to check out. But that is about it. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.